welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a video and a layout for the spring crop for paper issues, which is so exciting, so stay tuned all weekend. And if you want to place an order, use my code Rachel20 to save 20%. So here's the photo I'm using. It's from a trip that I took last year to just like out east in Canada, and that's me eating ice cream. So the challenge that I'm up for is rip it open. So in the description when I was being told about it was use packaging, use bags, distressed edges, crumpled paper, stuff like that. So I just took out random bits and pieces like tissue paper, old like bags from like packaging and tags, and you can see there I have that bubble wrap that's used. I have that Tim Holtz packaging. So I was just taking things out and experimenting and putting things together, and actually came together quite quickly. So you can see at first I put that clear, I don't know, kind of like acetate, not really, but I put that on the back and I didn't really like it. I just felt it was so unnecessary. So I do end up taking it off, but I put this white tissue paper with gold stars on it, and I just rip it up into the shape I like. I probably should use like a ruler and done that method to ripping. I don't know if that works for tissue paper, but whatever. Tissue paper is pretty thin anyway, so you're going to get what you're going to get. So I took that clear stuff off, and I'm just ripping the edges of this tissue paper, and I work with that. So you don't see a lot of it, but you do see some, and that's all that matters for me. All right, so now I'm going to take some of this packaging. I had no plan at this point. I just brought out a bunch of stuff, and I actually brought out my Dear Lizzy container with all my Dear Lizzy products, and was going to work with that, but then I just had all this stuff to make so many layers. I really didn't end up using a lot of it, which I think is a good thing. I used up a bunch of this random stuff from my stash, which I think is great. So I'm just layering things up. I did the bubble wrap, that the doilies, the bags, all different kinds of bags, the packaging. So you can see my different layers here. I'm going to use a stapler to put some of them together. I don't put it through the bags because I want to put a tag in the bag, if that makes sense. And then there's that brown kind of paper bag. Another tag here going off to this side. And I just keep layering it up. This is a lot of layers and I love it. I have this clear, it's like a vellum tag, so I'm going to stick that in. And basically, I'm trying to make it look like I just kind of threw it all together and put a bunch of garbage together and made it work. And I think it does kind of work in the end. And I got to use up a lot of my stuff. Now near the end, I do go into my Dear Lizzy stash and bring out some things. But first I'm going to adhere this kind of random stuff. So I use Dear Lizzy, there's Fine and Dandy, and then there's another one. I forget the collection name. I'll link stuff down below so you know. But it's one of her newer-ish collections. I don't think it was a Stargazer one, but sometime around that time. I don't remember exactly, but that's okay. I'll put it all down below and you can figure it out from there, and I'll link to the shop. Okay, so I'm using my like stamping acrylic block thing. I was just experimenting. I'm not much of a mixed media person, but I wanted to kind of try this out. So I sprayed some Heidi Swapp Color Shine onto the block, and then just kind of, I think Vicki Boutin calls it like the kissing method. Kissed it down to the paper and just made some not mixed media, but just made some background splatters, and I think it looks okay. And then I go for this other blue and kind of make it go around the page, but that doesn't really work. So I just do some paint splatters with that because I felt that blue matched better. Yeah, and so you don't see a lot of it, but I'm kind of glad about that because it's not that great looking. Just a little bit peeking out. That's exactly what I was going for anyway. going to use this cloth to just mop things up so it dries faster. And put it back on every once in a while to see how it looks, to see how I like it. All right, so now I'm going through my Dear Lizzy things, and I just have a bunch of stuff put together, no rhyme or reason, for just a bunch of my Dear Lizzy products. So I'm going to take this super cute flamingo, which I have kind of been hoarding, and I'm going to put that little guy on, and I'm going to staple it on with the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. And I'm going to staple different parts together because it was starting to like fly up a little bit. And I know it'll be in a page protector, so it won't be as bulky as it looks now, but yeah. And yeah, I love that floral and that chipboard. I'll link that down below so you can look at that collection because it's really beautiful. And I didn't get my hands on a lot of it. I got the chipboard and the paper pad. So I don't have a lot of it, but it's really cute. I have actually a couple of the chipboards. And then I'm going to use some of the little hearts to scatter around the page. And I was trying out different pieces of ephemera, but I don't really have a lot left, so it was kind of hard to find something. And I'm trying that one, and I think I could have made that work, and the cactus was really cute too, but I didn't want my layers to be too giant. I felt I was going a little bit overboard. And I have these little tabs that I made. I'm sure the video would be up by now, but I made these tabs for the just this 100 days of creativity thing I'm doing. So I'll link that video down below if you want to see that. It's with an illustrated faith book that I am following along. All right, so now I'm looking for a title, and I have lots of black word thickers, but I didn't really want to bring a lot of black in. So, excuse me, then I take this one out. It's from like a Christmas collection. I think it's called Joy, American Crafts. And I thought they were perfect because it had the browns, which I have from the packaging and the bags and the tags and stuff. And then it also had the white to soften it up. So I just made it really simple and wrote yum because I was going to do ice cream, but they were just too, like the word ice cream, but they were too just big and blocky and it wasn't working for me. Okay, so I'm just going to glue down some of these pieces because I just wanted to make sure they would stick for a long time. Sometimes a chipboard, if I've had them in my stash for a while, they might not stick as well. So I'm just going to make sure they do by adding some adhesive. Oops. Oh yeah, and then I add a staple. I just got my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. As you could see, I use the packaging for this layout. And I am obsessed with using it. So yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit of journaling, not too much. But just to draw your eyes from the top left to the bottom right of the page. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. And then I'm going to add some more hearts from that chipboard sheet that I did at the top. Well, I'm going to add one. Yeah, I add one. And then another one is a sticker. And I didn't want it too dark, as I said before, but I thought that dark blue matched well with the blue in the picture and the sign, so it worked out just fine. And then take a little heart to match. And then I'm going to I was trying to find a place for that, but that wasn't working. Because that blue kind of matched. It was just all the blues. Okay, so I'm going to find some like little phrase stickers to put below my journaling, which I like to do, just to tie in, tie in the journaling with everything else. I think that looks nice. But I gotta switch those two. There we go. And I think that's pretty much all I do. Um, yeah, so if you want to, it would be so much fun if you would come join us for the crop this weekend, and you can see all the different lovely projects. And yeah, it's going to be tons of fun. So come to our Facebook page. All the links will be down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.